What is up, guys? I'm back here for another collection update, just because I felt like it, and my good friend Gibson suggested that I do another one because so much has changed with my collection since the last video, and it's just a really easy, fun little video. You guys seem to like them, so I was just going to do that. Before I show you guys the extra stuff, I did want to let you guys know that my other channel that I've been collaborating with Gibson, the podcast channel Indecent Composure, we just put up, like a month ago, we put up the second episode, which is of dinosaur figures. So we just talked about dinosaur figures, right up your guys' alley. If you guys are into that, go check it out. It'll be in the description in the top right corner right now, and at the end screen at this end of this video. Do note that we're very indecent over there, so if you're a kid or if you're sensitive to strong language, don't go to that channel. Yeah, we had tons of fun on that, and we're going to be releasing a third episode really soon. Obviously, there was a huge gap between episodes 2 and 3 because I was over in Washington. I actually went up to Massachusetts and visited my friend David, and then he and I flew out to Washington to visit Eric and Gibson, so the four of us were all hanging out for a while. So obviously a lot of stuff was going on, so we had a big gap, but Eric is back for the third episode, and it's on cryptids. Really fun episode. I'd really highly recommend checking out. It'll be out next couple days. It'll be up really soon, so you should definitely check that out. Anyways, let's get on to the collection update, because a lot has changed. So before I show you, I want to say that you guys remember the big shelf that I had with all my smaller figures on it. It was really big, really full. And then I had the smaller shelf that had Godzilla, Nendoroids, and the BOTM stuff. So a while back, by a while back I mean literally a week ago. That's how recent this happened. I mean, for a long time, me and my friends have been talking about just paring down our collections and really just focusing on stuff. And I was talking to Gibson recently, and I wanted to make a lot more room for my BOTM stuff because I just liked having more space for them, and BOTM is really my passion at this point. And so I ended up challenging myself, long story short. Gibson and I were both doing this, and he pared down his collection big time recently too. But I went really hardcore on this, and I literally went, okay, with all my normal figures, and just the whole collection as a whole, I'm going to sweep everything, and I'm going to separate, only leave up the figures that theoretically, if my entire collection were to vanish, I'm only going to keep up the ones that I would buy again. So the ones that I really love enough that I'd buy again, and I'm going to get rid of everything that I wouldn't buy again, because I really want to just focus on the stuff I really loved. So all of it's gone. It's like a quarter of the size it was before. So it's really small, but I'm super passionate about the stuff I do have up. Now, all of my Carnegie stuff, you're not going to see any of that today, because all of that I did put into storage. All the stuff that I was going to sell from Carnegie, I've already sold. All the other stuff I put into storage because the Carnegie stuff is really important to me. I grew up with that stuff, so I'm not going to sell any of that. However, I am going to sell pretty much everything else that I didn't keep up. So, here's the shelf now. This is all the regular figures, and I mean all of them. And I want you to ignore this bottom shelf because, spoiler alert, this whole bottom shelf is everything that is potentially going to be I'm going to be getting rid of it. Most of this I'm going to sell. A couple things I might end up keeping, or I might this side of the shelf is kind of stuff that I'm testing to see how much I can live without it. That's why this is all just kind of jumbled in there, because this is most of the selling shelf. I'm gonna pretty much everything over here I'm gonna sell except for this one. I'm gonna keep this one no matter what. This is actually the Fang from Dinosaur Island. So big shout out to Gibson. He actually gave me Fang because I've always wanted this Carcharodontosaurus figure. I love Carcharodontosaurus, and I always wanted to try it out. So when I was over at his house, he gave me her. But this is the Fang from Dinosaur Island. You can see all the scuffs on her. You can probably compare it to the footage from there, and you can also get confirmation from Gibson that this is in fact the Fang, the famous one from Dinosaur Island. I have her. She's not going to be sold. I'm not going to get rid of her. I will keep her, put her in storage, but for right now I just wanted her out, so she's there, and I don't really have room up there. And these three I'm definitely not getting rid of. My Bigfoot, Mothman, and the $6 dude, because he's like a little meme. These little tags messing, but I just needed room for them, so they're there. All the rest of them, especially this side, I'm definitely selling. This side is all stuff that I'm just trying to see how I feel about not having them on display. So I'm just kind of like sitting there. They're in like a little testing phase, but probably most of those I'm going to sell. Now the top, and actually I'll show you the posters quickly. Yes, I have my Doki Doki poster, my Evangelion poster, and my Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai poster, which are 3 of my favorite properties of all time. My top 2 favorite anime, 1 and 2, and then my favorite video game of all time. So those are kind of, I love having all that stuff there. Now, these are all the figures up here that I definitively would buy again, or that are really special. I have a bunch of repaints and stuff, like from David, aka Spino Dude, and some of my other friends that I've put into storage. I just don't feel like displaying anymore, like some of them that David made for Mesozoic Isle and whatnot. I didn't really feel like displaying those too much anymore because I wanted to really pare it down, but I still have them because they're very sentimental to me. There is like this Diablo Ceratops from Safari. I haven't really shown this one off too much, but I have repainted this myself. I really love this repaint that I did on it. I'm super happy with it. Did it forever ago. I never really showed it off too much, but I'm not a huge fan of Safari's Diablo Ceratops, especially the paint. The sculpt is pretty decent. It's not amazing, but my repaint on it has definitely made me really want to keep it. And I really, and that's not just because I repainted it. There's other figures I've repainted I've taken down, and I might even get rid of. But this one, I'm just super happy with the repaint. I love Diablo Ceratops. It's really nice to just have another Diablo Ceratops figure up there, so I'm happy at that. Other than that, though, I do have actually this right here. This was given to me. We got to meet Kayakasaurus in person in Washington, and he gave all 4 of us different sculpted versions of his Parasaurolophus, which is genuinely not even, I mean, I love Clayton as it is. I'm friends with him and everything, but this is genuinely my favorite Parasaurolophus sculpt, just period, on the market. I mean, it's not even really on the market, technically, but I love this. I'm going to be painting it soon. I already have a paint scheme in mind. I just haven't painted it yet. So thankfully, it's very clearly not painted, and it's very purple, so it's constantly reminding me that I need to paint it. So that guy's on there. Also, there's this beautiful Papomegalosaurus that has been repainted by my good friend David. Thank you so much, David. This is simply the most incredibly painted figure I think I have that I own, period. It is just stunning. I have pictures of this one that I'm going to be posting on Instagram relatively soon. You guys can check that out in the description below. I'll have it linked. Yeah, it's stunning. This is an absolutely incredible figure that he's painted. Let me put that up there again. I mean, Megalosaurus is one of my favorite, possibly my favorite Cenozoic creature of all time. And I've always wanted a figure of it, and then finally Papo made one, and I really like it, but it's not amazing, especially the paint. And one of the biggest things that really I didn't like about it is that the tips of the antlers were black, and the rest of the antler was a little bit lighter in color, which is just not how antlers are at all. They're usually dark with lighter tips because they scrape the outer layers of the bone off. And so I really wanted to repaint it in some capacity, but David just completely repainted it. And it just looks incredible. It literally stands up to the Eofauna figures, which is just stupid. But yeah, this is pretty much everything I have here. These are the only figures I'd repurchase or like repaints that Caesar and I repainted this Safari Bald Eagle to a Stellar Sea Eagle, and I love Stellar Sea Eagles, so I have that there. Can't think of any other repaints that are up here besides this beautiful Dimetrodon that David repainted that he gave to me when I visited him. I love that figure. There's also pictures of this one on my Instagram. But yeah, it's really pared down. It's super simple, and just, I love it. I love this aquatic section here, where I really have the aquatic stuff like on different layers. You have the little belemnite back there about to attack the Vaquita porpoise, the coelacanth. Chronosaurus with Becky in its mouth. I love posing them like that. And then this Ichthyosaurus up there. I love these 3 figures. They're my favorite marine animal figures, those 3. Also, the cow-nosed ray is up there on the wall. So is the Quetzalcoatlus. My only Carnegie figure on display is the Maiasaura, which is my favorite Carnegie figure. So that Maiasaura with nest set is back there. But I did want to, even though I like Carnegie stuff still, I did want to intentionally remove them all from the shelf, just so that I could just for once just really display the stuff I'm really passionate about and not feel obligated to have the old Carnegie stuff out. So it's back there. It's like by far the most hidden figure on the shelf. So it kind of still works. The Torvosaurus, I love that figure. These Eofauna Trikes are just beautiful. Yeah, everything going on here. I'm just really happy with my little Cenozoic section. The Gigas, I love both of those Gigas so much that yes, I still have both of them on display. Paleoloxodon, these two, the T-Rex, my favorite T-Rex figure. Yeah, it's just in general really happy with that. Not really going to show you much of this because screw it. I mean, it's down there for a reason. So let's move on. Over here on the poster wall, it's the same as you've seen before. Just Godzilla stuff at the top. A Jurassic World poster here. Gunship, my favorite band. I fucking love Gunship. They're awesome. And let's go over here. So here's this little thing you guys might remember before. We had statues up here. Maybe they were over there before, actually. I don't remember. But either way, Essien and Lucas are in their boxes right now because I want to get rid of them. I'm just having trouble actually finding boxes to put these boxes in to sell them. But I'm trying to sell them. So if you're interested, let me know so I can, if you want to be notified whenever I find boxes to actually sell them in. If you're really interested, I'm going to be selling them probably just below retail. So whatever they retailed for, I'm going to sell them for a little less than that. With shipping, they'll probably end up being just about retail, but they're basically as good as new, but they are technically used, so just keep that in mind. But I'm going to be selling those, so if you're interested, you can let me know, and I'll notify you. Yeah, and this, obviously, Bone Crusher's right here, but he's taken down, because, yeah, I don't want to show him. And the Vitae gig, I still love that. I'd definitely keep that one. And I love this Papo Spinosaurus. Probably the only Papo figure I'd repurchase. I mean, I love the Megalosaurus. I'd probably repurchase that one again anyways, even if it was just the basic one. But also mine's repainted, so that doesn't really count. Godzilla stuff hasn't really changed. Like at all, I haven't even bothered to repose anything. I don't know if I had some of those figures sold before, but some of those figures have been sold. Just a bunch of Nendoroid boxes and whatnot. Stuff down there. Now over here is where I really am happy about. I mean, this stuff hasn't really changed. Let me see actually. I'll just leave that. I'm not even going to pick the colors, but Mai can just like change colors on her own. We also have a Unit 1 now. So my Unit 1 model kit has arrived. Love that model kit. Beautiful. Unit 0's right back there. I still haven't gotten Unit 2. It still hasn't been released yet. I have Elec from Baraki there. The Doki Doki characters have migrated over to the media shelf because just they're one of my favorite pieces of media. I'm probably going to be selling this guy. I really love this figure. It's really good, but he's just to save space. I mean, he's not one of my favorite Godzilla designs. It's just a really good NECA figure, but these four are the Godzilla suit designs I care about more. So I feel like he's just kind of out of place. So I feel like I'm probably going to get rid of him soon. But up here, we have all the stuff that was on that other shelf before. I'm knocking everything around on the floor because my floor is all messy. But yeah, I wanted to make a lot more room so I could have the Wave 3 Ceratopsians that I've ordered. I already have the Adult Trike, Torosaurus, Alberta Ceratops, Sinoceratops, and Utah Ceratops all pre-ordered and coming. I actually backed the Adult Triceratops from the Kickstarter, so I've had that one for a long time. But those guys all need to have room on here. Yeah, my friends and I, so Gibson, or I'll just call them by their actual names, Bioniclesaurus, Dino Man, and Spino Dude and I, we all like actually name our BOTM figures because we're really personally attached to all of them, so they all have their own names. You'll see those tags there on the shelf. We'll get around to that here in a little bit because they all actually are named after like things that are important to me. They're all named after references. I'm not going to tell you what all the references are, because they're references, and so if you get them, that's what's cool. But I will tell you the ones that you probably are not likely to guess because they're just too specific. All the ones that are pop culture references or something that's important or something you could probably figure out, or that other people that love that piece of pop culture might figure out, I'm going to leave open because of that. But yeah, so for all of our ceratopsians, we have Frank the Zuniceratops, we have Angel the Diabloceratops, C2 the Chasmosaurus, Hookie the Triceratops, Mango. Mango is one I will tell you his name because recently my mom was getting us mochi ice cream, my mochi ice cream, which is a Japanese type of ice cream, and we had the sweet mango flavor, and it instantly became my favorite flavor of mochi. I really love the mango. I'm not usually a huge mango fan, but mango works here, so it's actually a reference to that flavor that I had relatively recently. That's what that one's named after. Eclipse the Medusaceratops, which is my favorite BOTM figure. I love the Medusa. Jambi the Pachyrhinosaurus. Now, all these names, if you notice on my Instagram, when I take pictures of my figures, I actually have been putting their names in the posts, which is kind of fun. We have Thrasher, the Fans Choice Ornitholestes, who's attacking Cooper, the little Mononicus, which is pretty fun. We have Kelvin, which isn't even really a pop culture reference. It's pretty obvious, honestly. We have this family of this Ornitholestes family of the Mama Mochi, Pocky, Sushi, and Onigiri. Honestly, not much of a pop culture reference either. It's all just Japanese food. You can probably figure that out. Then we have this really awesome Velociraptor family Protoceratops display that I've just changed the pose of. We have all the kids. Actually, recently I finally named all of them. The only ones that were actually named before were the whole family of Velociraptors outside of the Protoceratops. That one wasn't named. He's named Zion now, which is not really a pop culture reference. It's just literally a national park, which is funny because I named him that, and because I love the colors of him, and it reminded me of Zion. And then I realized that I think the background picture of its box is literally Zion. I might be wrong, but I noticed that after I named him that, which was funny. The other ones, Tahu is obviously a pop culture reference, so I won't say that. But Mayakota is literally a Native American word that means the moon is powerful, I think. Harris is after Harris's hawk, because his mom kind of looks like a Harris's hawk. Hula is a Native American word for eagle, and Luna is obviously Latin for moon. We have Lulu, the Senuan Long. We have Raspberry, which is a reference I'll tell you because I love ices. I love movie theaters, and whenever I'd go to the movie theaters, I'd always buy an icy, and I loved blue raspberry. That was my favorite flavor, so kind of named after that. This figure is awesome. You guys might remember that I actually got lucky enough to win the raffle for one of the test figures from BOTM. I actually bought this Western set, and that was my way of entering the raffle, and I ended up getting one. And when I went to visit David in Massachusetts, he and I repainted this. So huge shout out to him, and thank you for repainting this. This was my color idea. I came up with the idea from an Indo-Chinese forest lizard, which was the inspiration for the colors. I really wanted to have some more cool colors in my BOTM line. And then I later found out that actually the Indo-Chinese forest lizard, even though that he doesn't technically name it correctly, David Silva did use the same lizard as reference for the Centrosaurus, which is pretty cool. So you can actually see how mine's a little bit more faithful to the actual lizard than the Centrosaurus is. It's a little bit more changed. I'm not dissing on it. I'm just saying that that's how it is. Sometimes they take a little bit more creative liberties, like this one. I forget what this one's based off of, but it doesn't look very much like the actual animal at all, which I'm totally fine with because I freaking love it the way it is. But yeah, David and I repainted this one. I'm really happy with how that came out. And I bought these posing rod arms for it so it can stand reliably. I mean, it can stand on its own, but I don't want it to fall over and damage itself. We have Maggie, which is a pretty on-the-nose reference to the magpie that it's based off of, which is one of my favorite birds. The black-billed magpie is one of my favorite birds. So Maggie's up there. She's got a different posing arm that I purchased myself. And just the original base is right down there. Then we have Ariel, the mother, Jinjo, Westaway, and Hai, all the babies. Those are all references, which I'm not going to explain. We have Mai Sakurajima over here. I just got her today. Finally, she was supposed to come out in March, but because of all the COVID stuff and probably also to do with that Evergreen crate delay and everything, how all the ports are backed up, she took forever to get here in the U.S., but I finally have a figure of my waifu, Mai Sakurajima from Rascal Does Not Dream Bunny Girl Senpai. So that's pretty awesome. Really love this figure. It's my first anime character figure, besides the Evangelions, but they don't really... they're not like humans, so, you know, a little bit different, but this is my first human, like, proper anime figure that isn't an Nendoroid. So, yeah, that's pretty dope. I really love her. I think she's beautiful. I think this figure really came out great. And Taito, they're really cheap, really good models. I really like that a lot. Let's go over the Nendoroid stuff. So, recently I got Echidna and Megumi. Megumi's from Jujutsu Kaisen. And Echidna's from ReZero Season 2. I love her. She's one of my favorite Nendoroids that I have. We also have Emilia and our Konosuba characters here. They've been there before. I reposed them all. There's a bunch of pictures of them I've taken, or these two I took on the trip to Washington. I just got Chica today with Mai. Really love Chica. She's one of my favorite anime characters. I love Love is War. That's one of my favorite anime series. But unfortunately, that Nendoroid is made by Toy Tech, which, if you're familiar with Nendoroids, Toy Tech is another studio or another company that they'll like send stuff out to, like products out to have done to help, you know, shed the load off of Good Smile, and they don't really do the best. And so honestly, that's objectively my worst Nendoroid. It's got a lot of flaws to it, but I really love Chica, so I'm happy I have her. We have Ray back there. Yui from Snafu, and Holo from Spice and Wolf. So just my Nendoroid, so it's really coming together. I'm definitely going to need a second one of these pretty soon, which is fine with me because I love these things. I love Nendoroids, and I definitely want to get more. I can fit quite a few more on here. They're a little spaced out intentionally, but I'm going to need another one pretty soon. Then over here on the Godzilla stuff, I'm super happy with how compact I've managed to make this Godzilla section. So we have our big 2014 NECA Godzilla figure back there. He's just like swooping around the whole thing back there. I love that. My two NECA Mothras are up there really tall because all the shelf risers at the back. We have the SH Monstars Rodan. We have the SH Monstars Mothra kind of hiding back there because I'm not really a huge fan of her, but she looks really cool when you get her like this angle of the NECA burning Godzilla. The wings look like they're coming out of him like the end of the movie, which is really cool. I got all these Art Spirits figures, the little pack, because I really just desperately wanted a King Ghidorah because King Ghidorah might be my favorite kaiju from that movie. And I really just could not talk myself into choking down $300 for the big one, even though I really love it and it's way better than the piece of crap SH Monster Arts one and every other Ghidorah figure that's on the market. But even though it's not with scale, I love this thing. This small one was, this one alone was worth the whole pack of the Art Spirit small guys. But I also love this Burning Godzilla. This one's my second favorite. The Rodan is just amazing. I love him. These ones are great too. But I also really love the Larva Mothra, who's back there with the egg sac bases from the other Mothras up there. And we have possibly my favorite one out of the smaller ones. This guy's my favorite. The big one there, he's my favorite out of all of them. But this Atomic Blast Godzilla is just awesome. One of the best NECA Godzilla figures that they've ever made. I just love that thing and the metallic blue on it. We have this other Godzilla. We have Godzilla 2014 back there. Yeah, but they're just super compact, and you can just see everybody. I'm just super happy with how I managed to weave all these together and just design them. And I really took into account all the different angles. Like you can really see the glowing on him from over here because of the lights. You can also see the transparent wings on Mothra from here. And I mean, the transparent wings aren't as obvious on her, so I moved her over there because she wasn't really going to benefit from the lighting as much. But yeah, I'm just super happy with how I designed this. I just think it came out really great. It's super compact, which I still really wanted to display all these, but it is just basically King of the Monsters in 2014 because I love those two movies. But I wanted to keep my Godzilla stuff to a minimum. These guys, I'm probably going to end up storing like all my Carnegie stuff just to get them out of the way because I don't really have a lot of passion to display them anymore. But I still love them all, and I'm really sentimental to them all. I mean, I'm probably going to get rid of a few of them, like that Ghidorah back there I'm probably going to get rid of now. Maybe a couple others I might convince myself to get rid of, but yeah, I really wanted to keep it really compact while also being able to see everything, and I'm super happy with how it came out. I feel like from right here, which is the main angle I wanted to look at it, you can pretty much see everything. Even the Mothra larva and the wings of Ghidorah block off the body of the Mothra, which is what I kind of wanted. So everything just looks really good. I'm super happy and super proud with how that came out because I've been trying to give everything a little bit more space, as you can see. But I intentionally wanted to keep this pretty compact. So yeah, that's pretty much that. That's my collection as it is right now. Pretty big change. There's a lot less of it now. I blabbed about it a bunch, but hopefully you enjoyed watching. Yeah, it's I feel so much happier. I feel so much happier, and probably the next time I do an update like this, you're gonna end up seeing like more of these things. Obviously, this thing will probably be rearranged a bit. There'll probably be might even be some more figures up there. Hopefully that whole bottom shelf of all the temporary stored figures over there will be gone, and I'll give a little bit more room to all of those figures that are up on the top shelf, all the ones that I would buy again. I just want to give them more room, just like this. I want to have it be a little bit more spacious. And hopefully these guys will all be either stored or just really limited by the next time you see this. So, yeah. I'm really looking forward to and also hopefully Unit 2 will finally be here, so I'll have the trio of Vevas. But that's pretty much that. Honestly, the collection is where I want it. I'm really happy with just how simple and refined it is. It's just the stuff I love, and I feel like I'm giving more attention to each individual figure better. Because like when you just have a ton of stuff, it's cool to look at, but so many figures just go overlooked, and you don't really appreciate them for a long time. So I'm just a happier person like this, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this and hearing me ramble. Yeah, bye.